Yo, 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 word up traders. How are we? I've got a bit gangster today. Hope you're all well. Hope you're having a good trading week. Trader Tom here, and I am with you for the next 45 minutes. So in those 45 minutes, we are going to do the following. We are going to look at a trade that I have literally just taken, and I'm nicely in profit with pound US dollar. We'll explain why and how I took that trade. We're also going to take a look at the news coming out. So at 1:30, we have got a slew of data coming out, not only for the US dollar, but we've got a little bit of CAD news there as well. So we'll look at the market and how the market reacts to that. We will also play everyone's favorite game, which is called Guess the News Game, the best game on the internet. And what else are we going to do? Yeah, we are going to take all of your questions, guys. So, don't be shy. Come say hello. Leave as many questions as you like. And it can be to do with anything about trading, right? It could be a currency pair you want me to look at. It could be money and risk management. It could be trouble with your ex-husband or ex-wife. I can answer those questions too. Or it could be movie trivia, right? But probably trading will be best. I don't know what's happening to my internet. I'm currently losing things on my screen. You have to bear with me, guys, because I am in deepest, darkest Philippines, and the internet is not the best. I could not be any further north in the Philippines. That's where I am on the map right now, and that's where I will be for one more week before I go back to the desert, which is Dubai, before I go back to the sandpit. I'm not looking forward to going back to the crazy heat, but I am looking forward to going back to wonderful internet. Yeah, you can't have it all. Right, so that's the plan, guys. That is what we are going to do. Let me have a drink of water because I have a slightly croaky voice. What else did I want to share with you about the Philippines? Yeah, before we get started, can I just say, I'm going to show you this pound US dollar sell trade. And can I just say, look at my entries this week. I am blowing my own trumpet, but those entries, we're going to talk about them shortly. But before I do, I paid 66p for a beer the other day. And then I went to this swanky restaurant by the beach. And I was thinking, I wonder how much a beer will be in here. And for the same beer, it cost me £1.20. It is ridiculously cheap. Yeah, so there you go, guys. I've become an alcoholic because it's so cheap. I'm only joking, I haven't. Right, guys, back to trading. Let's start with pound US dollar. And before I do, guys, remember to say hello. Remember to leave your questions. Don't be shy. But pound US dollar, guys, right? If we start with the weekly. Okay, so this is, this is everything that I look at. But let's do it actually how I do it. Now, first of all, the day chart is king, right? So I look at the day chart first of all. And as you can see, we are in a downtrend, right? Again, this is not me making things up. This is fact, right? We're getting lower highs, and this high never broke, and we're getting lower lows, right? So we are in a downtrend. And ever since we hit this level of resistance, just look at the candles. Bearish, 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 and yesterday's was bearish, right? Nicely bearish, which is why I was still confident in looking for sells today. And we do have a bit of room to move into, back down to this 3,000-4,000 level, I would say, right? Depends on what the news does. Now, on the H4, all that happened was this, right? We're in a H4 downtrend, right? and we pulled back to the river. This is basically what we call it. This is called the river, right? And it's better than the moving average 20 because it gives us a zone to trade from, and it's part of our price action 101 indicator, right? And our indicator also tells you that the daily is bearish, and there's many things that our indicator can do. We're very proud of it. So there, right? And basically price pulled back to the river. Yeah, you can see here. And I just got in. I was aggressive with this trade, and I literally entered there. I couldn't have picked a better entry, and I entered earlier on during the week there. You know, don't get me wrong. Those kind of entries are not common. You never get in literally to the pip where price changes. It just so happens this week with pound US dollar I have, right? But you know, that's not common, right? Now, what I've done with this trade, so you can already see we are nicely in profit. And what I've done, guys, is basically take some profit off. So when we got down to 1.3456, basically here, I closed 60% of this trade, right? Because we have this news coming out, right? We got basically the US Open, you know, the New York's opening, and we've got this news coming out in a very short time, right? So that is why I closed 60% here, and I'm going to let 40% rip. Now, this 40% could tear down, right? If it does, then happy days. Because what I've done is move my stop loss to break even. So I am in a win-win position right now, right? I've already secured 60% profit, moved my stop loss to break even, and I'm going to let 40% rip. You know, I want this news to be very bullish for the US dollar, and I will look, you know, if it starts tearing down, yeah, I will look to get out around this grey zone here, you know, even this 1.34 thousand level. If it does nothing on the back of that news, then I will probably readjust my stop loss, right? I will probably take my stop loss and break even and put it back up here, right, to still give it a bit of room, right? I'm only moving that stop loss to break even because there's news coming out. That's the only reason for it, yeah, because news could make it do that or that, right? So that is how I am rolling with pound US dollar. And as always, guys, this is all in the Discord, right? So we've got the free Discord and we've got the VIP Discord. So in the VIP Discord, this is where I put my trades, right? So this is pound US dollar sells. There's my entry, stop loss, TP, and you can see I took 60% and let 40% run, move stop loss to break even. All right, guys. So, yeah, I put it all in there for you. If you're interested in this, please firstly join our free Discord and then look into the VIP Discord as well. All right, go check it all out. What else was I going to show you? So that was pound US dollar, yeah. And I just wanted to point out this to you guys, right? So this has been a very busy news day, right? And it continues to be, right, with US dollar, okay? And all of this news later on. And yesterday, right, was a very busy news day. So I've only had one trade, and that was the pound US dollar I've just shared with you. So since the last live stream on Tuesday, I've only had one trade and I've just shared it with you, right? Now, why is that? Because firstly, I didn't get a setup, but even if I did get a setup, we've got so much bloody news, right? You've got New Zealand interest rate, you've got GBP CPI, you've got Euro CPI, you get US dollar FOMC minutes, right? You just got so much news from yesterday, and today the news just keeps coming. So just generally speaking, right, we need news to move the markets, But these super busy news days make it tricky to get into trades, right? But, you know, we got to bide our time, wait for the news to come out and try and pick our moments. So, yeah, I just wanted to share that with you as well. And guys, right, if, you know, like I say, this river that we're using is part of the price action 101 indicator, as is the daily direction. And can I just say, some of the guys are kicking ass in the price action 101 room in our free Discord. I think some of them are up 3%, 3.5% this week. So congratulations to you guys. Yeah, you're doing well. I don't think you quite beat me this week. Just saying, but you did the other week. So there you go. All right, guys. Right, so let's take it. That's enough about my trades. Let's take a look at your questions, guys. Right. So, Michael, hi, Tom. What are your thoughts on pound yen? Okay. This leads me in nicely to basically everything that I'm looking at. So everything that I'm looking at right now are pound pairs. Okay. So first of all, I've taken this pound trade, right? It's a win-win. Right? I cannot lose on this trade now, whatever news does. But I also like pound yen, right? Look at this. This is again, you know, perfect for our price action 101 indicator. So if we look at the daily, excuse me, you can see the thing with the daily is it's not super clear, right? Rangy, break, retrace. You know, this high technically hasn't been broken because all these wicks keep closing in within each other, right? But others would argue, no, Tom, that has been broken. The body of this candle broke that high. So it depends on how you look at the market there. Now, either way, this is a very nice weekly level. Okay, so let's just look at that on the weekly. Right, again, fact. Yeah, that is a nice weekly level. Fact. Right, and at this weekly level, yeah, not only, look, if you look at the weekly candle previously, we've got a bit of a wick there. Right, now let's look at the day chart. Sellers are taking control, right? Yeah, we've got buyers in control, still buyers in control. Now, sellers, big time sellers. Now, I am very much interested in selling pound yen. I really am. Because it's yen, right? And we know yen's been like this, and so have the indices, right? It's not been easy to trade. I'm going to wait for a H4 reaction. Okay, so daily's telling me I can sell back down to this level. Now, if you look at the H4, we are getting that reaction. So exactly this, guys, right? If this candle stays like this, or at least remains with a big wick, right? Maybe it has a bit more of a wick, maybe it has a little bit less of a wick, right? But a wick, I will enter this trade. I will start selling here, stops above here, and I'll look to take price back down to these lows. This 198 most likely. So Michael, yeah, very much interested in selling pound yen. Really badly, very badly, super interested. But I'm waiting for this H4 candle to finish. And we've still got 45 minutes. But yeah, really like it. You know, that is just like a tip-top H4 entry as per how I trade and as per the indicator as well, right? So yeah, Michael, really looking, chomping at the bit to get into that, but we've got some big news coming out. Let's see how that H4 candle finishes. Right. Brett, can we take a look at oil? Okay, we'll take a look at oil, Brett, no problem. Let's say hello to a few more people. Phil, how are you, Phil? Phil, you like motorbikes because you have a picture of a motorbike as your what they call it, profile thing. Raphael, should I hold pound US dollar short for the target of 1.3900? Okay, we'll take a look at that again in a minute as well. Okay, Phil, it's truly fabulous, guys. So Phil is talking about the indicator. Get involved, guys. The indicator is kicking butt. It really is. We're not surprised by the success of the indicator, but it's amazing how well it's doing. Right? Last month it traded better than I did, and I created the indicator. Right? So okay, Penelope, what's your take on gold? Niraj, hi. Luigi, hello. Michael, thanks, Tom. I want to sell it. Michael, yeah, I'm all over this one. Hello. And Philip worships bikes. Philip, you will get on well with my brother. He loves bikes. He's more, he used to like race road bikes. He had an Aprilia 250. This means nothing to me, but he loves them. And now he's got a dirt bike, but I don't know what it is. MX something. I'm not sure. I know nothing about bikes. I had a go of one of his motorbikes once. He said, Tom, have a little go. Just pull the throttle. I pulled the throttle, sped off, and hit a parked car. And then I give my brother his slightly broken bike back and never got on one again. JD Bailey, where do I get the indicator from? So from the website, right? You can click on our website, www.simply-forex.com, and then go to the price action 101 page. Sorry, guys, we're going a little bit off tangent, but I'm carrying this conversation on. I raced superbikes for 25 years. Phil, my brother will love you. Literally. You two will sit down and talk about bikes with a couple of beers for 3 days. I would be bored out of my nut. Right, let's go back to our first question here. So Brett wants to take a look at oil. Now, oil has been a bit of a bloody mess, really. This is West Texan Intermediate. So let's start here. Now, if we look at the weekly, right, I want to sell it. Okay, we was in this downtrend. Bang, we were in an uptrend. Now, bang, we're in a downtrend. We're getting lower highs, lower lows. Right, weekly, we're in a downtrend. And potentially, we still, this was my first target, 61. We've already hit that. My second target would be 60. Right? So, I'm interested in selling. Now, if we look at the day chart, it's just making a bit of a nice retrace. Now, I would be very much interested in oil now. So you can see we've had this just crappy price action, then bang, right? We're in a downtrend. So if price retraces into here somewhere, right, which coincides with the river and this area of resistance, right, then I am very much interested in selling oil, right? If we got a nice big bearish daily candle, something like this in here, right, then I would look to sell it. So yeah, oils is a sell trade only for me. There's nothing telling me to sell it now, right? Bullish candle, choppy, crappy price action, really. And we've had a H4 structure break, right? If you look at the H4, we literally broke this high and even this high, right? With this candle right here. So we've literally had a H4 structure break. So that tells me price is going to get into this grey zone. And then I'm interested in oil breaking back down on the H4. Right? And we look to go lower. So, yeah, oil sells from this area of resistance in here. I would be very much interested. Right, what else are we looking at? Sorry, itchy nose. I'm not picking my nose. I'm just scratching it, right? Raphael. So Raphael is also in sells, and he said, should I hold pound US dollar shorts for the target of 1.3390? So let's take a look. So 1.3390. So you're in here. You're looking to take it to here. Now, right. So Raphael's saying, is that target good? Yes, right. Because if we go to the day chart, right, it's pretty much where this once support, then resistance, and then support again. Right. So this is pretty much where the support level is. So yes, I totally agree with this general vicinity as a target. Now, my only couple of pence to add to this would be the following, right? Because if we go back to the H4, right, why not take profit at a big psychological level? So this 1.34 thousand. I am a big believer in price reacting at 00s or 50s, right, a lot of the time, right? They do. So rather than trying to push it down to 91, I would take profit at 1.34 thousand dead. Right? It's only the difference of 9 pips, but it would just make me feel better. And also, there's this little bounce off here, right? And that actually happens at 1.3400 dead. So my target would be that, not 1.3391. And as I said, guys, I'm letting 40% of this trade run because we've got news coming out, let's see, right? But I would, if it gets down to this level, I'm closing 100% of that trade. But Raphael, I like the fact you're selling pound US dollar, and I like the fact that you are pinpointing this zone generally as a target. But like I say, psychological level for me. Guys, if I could please ask everyone to subscribe to the channel, smash the notification button, and please smash the like button. While you do that, I'm going to drink some neat vodka. Also, guys, if you haven't already, please come join our free Discord channel. You've got the QR code on the screen right there now. So click that. You can join our free Discord. And right now on the free Discord, we are, because Simply Forex is celebrating its 4th birthday, right, on the month of August, we are doing some crazy giveaways, right? So just go into the free Discord, check out the announcements room, and just check out all the freebies and giveaways that we're giving away. So just join the free Discord for that. Go get some giveaways. But not only that, guys, we have a wonderful trading community. You can speak to like-minded traders, and you can share trade ideas, etc. So come join our free Discord channel. Also, guys, if you haven't already, please go check out our website, www.simply-forex.com. You can see it above my head. On there, you'll get access to all of our premium education and tools, including the course, including the mentorship program, including the VIP Trading Academy, and including our Price Action 101 Pro indicator that we're very proud of and is kicking ass. So go check it all out, guys. It's all on the website. Right, what else are we looking at? We did have some more questions here. We got news coming out in 6 minutes. Right, Penelope Liverpool, 2 of my favorite things. So Penelope is my niece's name, and Liverpool is my favorite team. So congratulations, Penelope, on having a wonderful name. What's your take on gold? Right, we've got 5 minutes before the news, so let's do a quick look at gold. Now, weekly, right, I want to sell it. Yeah, you can see, let's zoom out a little bit. You can see prices come up, and it's found the ceiling. It's found the ceiling, and it's also beginning to range a little bit, right? And we're kind of here. We've got this level through here, and we've got this resistance level. Now, I was seeing an ascending triangle, right? You can see this blue line here, right? But interestingly, the weekly candle broke out of that level, and that is a very bearish weekly candle, okay? So I'm leaning towards sells on the weekly, might potentially back down to those lows there. Now let's look at that on the day chart. Now, a day ago, I was looking for gold sells, right? So you can see, if I zoom out a little bit, you can see this trend line. We was in an uptrend, price kept hitting it, broke it, not really retested it. But now we're clearly in a daily downtrend. We're getting lower highs, right? Lower lows, right? Even here, lower highs. So we're in a daily downtrend as well with gold, right? And if we go back in time and we went to here, I was chomping at the bit to get in on gold, right? I just didn't get a setup, thankfully. Okay, look at that. Downtrend, nice big bearish candle. I would just take price back down to probably this 3,000, right? In here. But then a day later, right, if we go back to real time now, a day later, we got this candle, right? So why did we get this candle? Quite simply because gold is a flight to safety, right? If we go to the indices, right, yesterday, as we know, we had this big sell-off, right? So if we see the indices doing this, you're going to see gold do that because it's a flight to safety, right? And you should be aware of this correlation. If you're not, shame on you, detention, right? But you have to be aware of that correlation. And that's happened, and that's what's happened with gold, right? The shit hit the fan, gold got strong, right? So that was macroeconomic. It wasn't technical. Now, do I still want to sell it? I mean, we're still in a downtrend. That weekly's still bearish, but I don't want to sell this candle, right? Maybe tomorrow, right? If we get a nice big bearish red candle that looks something like this, right? It doesn't have to be super bearish, but something like that, I would still consider selling gold, right? But obviously we need to see how this plays out. So yeah, I was definitely a seller of gold. This candle has thrown that into doubt. And it's going to be, like I say, heavily impacted by what happens in the indices. And congratulations on having such a great name. Right, guys, we have got 1 minute 30 until the US dollar news comes out. Let's go to my pound US dollar trade. Let's take a look at H1. Right, let's look at the H1. So yeah, has anyone got a joke? Has anyone got anything interesting they want to tell me? Has anyone got a quiz question? Please let me know. So we've answered that. What else? Mike wants to look at Euro Swiss franc. We will look at that very shortly, Mike. We're just waiting for the news to come out. And Sigma, nice setup. Thank you, Sigma. Sigma is a song. I know you're tired of loving with nobody to love. God, I can't sing. That was Sigma. Right, guys, we've got 30 seconds. Anyone got a quiz question or something like a joke? I got told a joke today, but I don't think I can say it on air. I may get banned for life on YouTube, to be honest. I've got a real frog in my throat as well. Come on, guys, don't be shy. Questions or... Right, okay, so here we go. The news has just come out. It's looking weak US dollar. Remember, with this trade, I have moved my stop loss to here. So if it hits it, no problem. I still have a winning trade. But we are seeing US dollar weakness, right? Let's have a look at Euro US dollar. US dollar weakness. Let's have a look at New Zealand dollar, US dollar weakness. Let's have a look at US dollar yen, US dollar weakness. So Sherlock Holmes here is going to say that that news was a lot worse than expected. And I'm going to say a lot worse than expected. Let's have a look. See, Sherlock Holmes strikes again. That is worse than expected. That is quite a bit worse than expected. That is a lot worse than expected. That is terrible data for the US. It really is, right? CAD had some good news come out, right? Now, what I want to see is, because I want to see the impact on the US dollar, but I also want to see the impact on the indices. So let's have a look at pound US dollar again. Okay, so we're still in the trade, but ultimately we're seeing a weak US dollar, right? Because everything was worse than expected. But let's see how the indices are taking that. Okay, not a crazy reaction, but bearish, right? It's not good for the economy. Yeah, we're getting more jobless claims and more initial jobless claims, right? So we've got people continuing to claim the dole, right? We call it the dole in the UK. It's probably called something else. What's it called? I just know it as the dole. So people are continuing to get unemployment, and also new people are signing up to get unemployment. So they are bad employment figures. And then we've got manufacturing, and this is obviously going to tell us the health of the manufacturing sector, and that's shit, right? So it should be bearish for the indices, and as a result it should be bullish gold. Let's have a look, right? Okay, so we're getting a bit of a bullish reaction on gold, and it should be bullish yen, right? Yes, so this pound yen trade is looking better and better. You know, I'm going to get in on this pound yen trade, right? I am. We've got another half hour, but if it looks anything like this, I will be selling pound yen for shizzle my nizzle, in the words of Snoop Dogg. So yeah, and again, guys, just knowing that correlation, right? That's all that went through my head there was just quick correlations, right? That news. So let's just recap. That news is pretty bad for indices. We look at the indices, right? They're not shooting down, right? But they're coming down. And if the indices are doing this, we know yen is strong. So if we look at pound yen, this is representing yen strength and pound weakness, right? So, but this is more yen strength than pound weakness. So yeah, pound yen is looking better and better, guys. We'll be definitely getting in on this trade if it looks something like that. Yeah, and there you go, Penelope says it. Yeah, gold has just spiked up. Yeah, because it's a flight to safety. Right, Mike. Every time I see Mike D, right, in our Discord, so Mike's part of our Discord and the VIP, and also a Price Action 101 indicator trader, I always think of Mickey Finn. So I used to be a bit of a junglist back in the day, and I used to love a bit of Mickey Finn. Every time I see your name, I think of Mickey Finn. There you go. I thought I would share that. Euro Swiss franc. Let's take a look, guys. Let's start with the weekly and work our way down. So on the weekly, we are in one big range. right? We are rangy, 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 rangy. Okay, we're in a range. And obviously, yeah, this candle, it did break these highs, but it never broke these highs. Okay, so it's still in a range for me. And obviously, we're getting a big bearish reaction because, again, Swiss franc is a flight to safety. So we've been seeing strength in the Swiss franc as well. So the last 24 hours, we have seen strength in yen, gold, right, and Swiss franc, right? Purely because we've seen strength in this, purely because the indices have been doing that. It's as simple as that, guys, right? You don't have to be a super smart economist, right? It's just that. That's all it is. Now, if we drop down to the day chart, it is at a wonderful support level, right? And we are really in an uptrend at a wonderful support level. But we're coming off this weekly level, and just look at the candles. Bearish, bearish, bearish. And like I say, flight to safeties are strong. I do like this level, but I'm not willing to buy these candles. And because of the weekly chart, if we end up, even if we got a bullish candle like this, right, I still wouldn't buy into here because of that weekly resistance level. What I would be more interested in is this, right? We're seeing this, let's say it reacts at this level for a bit, and then we get a break, right? Breaks this level. That's what I would be interested in to complete the weekly range, and the daily would be in a downtrend, and I would look to take it back down to the bottom of the range down here. So that's what I would be more interested in. I am not interested in buying at that level, especially with that candle. Let's see what the H4 is doing at that level. Okay, so I assume you're thinking about sells, Mike, right? Because as you're a price action 101 trader, it's coming back to the river, right? We're interested in this level. Would I sell back? I would be more inclined to do that trade, right, than buying from this support level. I am ultimately bearish at the moment with Euro Swiss franc because of all this strength on the flight to safeties as well. But again, I still wouldn't want to be selling into this. But having said that, look how bearish that daily candle is. So yeah, if anything, I would sell it back down to here, if not further. But to be honest with you, I would just stay out of this. Yeah, not interested really. If it starts breaking this level, I'm all over it. I would be all over this like Mohamed Salah is going to be all over Newcastle United's defence on Saturday. I hope. Mike DMB, that's what I was all about. I was a drum and bass. I used to go down to Hastings Pier and just dance my balls off. Right, what else are we looking at? Oh, okay. So somebody's telling me if you look at the Pepperstone feed. Right, okay, interesting. And it's something you need to be aware of, guys, actually. This is a really good point, right? Now, we've still got that level in here, right? We're still in this weekly range. Nothing's changed there, right? I'll probably come to here. So roughly there, right? So nothing's changed there. But what the guys are telling me is if on the H4, this has, there you go. So this is just about clip the river. To be honest with you, right, Euro Swiss franc sells is like pound yen sells, right? You're trading flight to safety strength. And what I'll also show you right now is this, right? I would buy euro pound. Right, look at this. This is a really nice setup, right? I know on the daily, you're probably thinking, Tom, you maniac. We're in a downtrend. And we are, it's a little bit scruffy, this, but we are ultimately in a downtrend, right? Stroke range, right? Daily is scruffy. I'm not going to deny that, right? But if we look at the weekly, thing of beauty, right? Clearly in an uptrend, nice retrace. We know this is a nice buying level. I think we can come back to there. I wouldn't want to push it any further, just to there. So if we look at the H4 now, that's where I would take it from. I really like this, and it's hit our river again. How good's the river, by the way, on the indicator? I mean, there's so much more to it than just the river. But the river is a bad boy. It's a drum and bass Mickey Finn bad boy. Mickey Finn and Nicky Black Market. I love that combination. I've lost a lot of people. They're probably thinking, Tom, what the F are you talking about? But look at that. If this finishes as a nice H4 candle, that's a nice trade, right? We've had a H4 structure break, right? What was once resistance becomes support. Right, we've got a nice, so far, we've got a nice bullish H4 candle, literally bouncing off the river. Now, this bad boy ticks a lot of boxes. But now imagine this, Mick, right? You want to sell Euro Swiss franc, but you've also got a buy yen sell trade on the table as well. So look at Euro pound, and we want to buy Euro pound. So the Euro Swiss franc trade becomes less attractive, and the pound yen trade, because of this chart alone, becomes more attractive, right? You really need to be aware of those cross correlations, guys, right? You know, for example, like if you like if you like Euro Aussie dollar buys and pound Aussie dollar buys, go take a look at Euro pound. Right? If you like Aussie dollar yen sells and New Zealand dollar yen sells, go take a look at Aussie dollar, New Zealand dollar. Right? That's going to stand you in good stead. It will give you another piece of confluence, really. All right. Guys, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, smash the notification button, and please smash the like button. If you haven't already, please come join our free Discord. It's a great trading community, guys. Come join it. Just click on the QR code. And we are giving away crazy discounts and giveaways at the moment. So go to the free Discord, go to the announcements room, and just check out all the offers. It's mental. Also, guys, if you haven't already, please go check out the website above my head, www.simply-forex.com. You can get access to everything and our new Price Action 101 Pro indicator. All right, guys, we're going to call it a day. Thank you very much for joining me. I'll see you again. I'll see you over the weekend for the weekly forecast, and then I'll see you again on Tuesday for more live streams, guys. All right. Have a great trading week. Adios, amigos.